Hello and welcome to The B-Side, where we take an honest look at the UK music industry. I'm Saskia and my guest today is Dr. Charisse Beaumont, the co-founder and CEO of Black Lives in Music, an organisation that addresses the current inequality of opportunity for Black, Asian and ethnically diverse people aspiring to be artists or professionals in the UK music industry. Charisse, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. It is an honour for me to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm really glad to be here, Saskia. Not in your space, but in your atmosphere, I guess space. And I know we spoke about this a few years ago now, so to see it come to fruition is amazing. So well done you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's we met at Warner and we were actually having a similar conversation, but in a kind of more official format, let's put it that way. And yeah, just from meeting you, as I've said before, I just felt so inspired and just at the things that you've achieved and the work that you're doing, that I just was like, I want to keep talking to you. You're a very cool person. So I'm so gassed to have you here and thank you for lending your time, because Charisse is a busy person, everyone, okay? So I want to get into it so before you have to leave. So if you could tell us a bit about how you got your first job in music. It's a question I ask everyone because everyone's story is different. So how did you get your first job?
It depends on what you define first job. I definitely have an unorthodox route or pathway into the music industry. So no, I've never had a job in the music industry. I had a bit of work experience when I was like, what else I want to do? I'm a dropout. So yeah, 17. But even when I went to uni to study music business, I was unable to secure a placement. To have any form of work experience or internships. You get a lot more today, but back then, and I am a little older, back then, someone who looked like me, a woman of colour, we weren't afforded the opportunities where a lot of men were, particularly if you were a white man. But what I did is when I dropped out of university, I started a business in telecommunications, and that did really well. If you're even old enough to know what a Nokia phone is, and I don't want to sound condescending, but those who know.
I'm old enough.
You're old enough. So if you had a Nokia phone, it was more likely, there's a strong chance it came from my business. We did really, really well, earned a shed load of money. And through that, I was able to fulfill my dream of working in music by starting my own record label, which did reasonably well. We had Grammy nominated producers. I managed artists who won Grammys, topped the Billboard charts. Just done a lot of stuff that you do when you're on a grind. So I'm an entrepreneur by trade. And then obviously we'll talk about it, I guess, a bit later. Years down the line, I founded Black Lives in Music alongside Roger Wilson. So my experience in the music industry has definitely been at grassroots, working with grassroots artists, but bedroom artists, and making them into established artists. And I'm really proud of the work that I did back then at such a young age, and kicking against the goads and finding a path that worked for me.
Yeah. So are you saying that because you couldn't get your route into the music industry in a sort of, I suppose, traditional route, you kind of had to rethink a little bit, and so like, what was the shift from the sort of telecommunications to back to music? Because you studied, was it music, commercial music?
I studied commercial music.
Yeah.
I'm old. Everybody studied commercial music at Westminster. I wouldn't say I was one of the first, so I will be able to hang my hat on that. I wasn't one of the first, but I was definitely one of the earlier students. And I remember just being in uni and being gutted because I didn't have any money. I was broke. And I knew this, when you ain't got no money and you're seeing the opportunities go to others. For me, it was a light bulb moment in my second year. It's like, this ain't gonna work, you know? And so, yeah, I left and I was gutted because I love studying. I love to study. I love to learn. I love everything about music, particularly the business side. So I was really gutted to drop out, but it felt like the right thing to do at the time, and obviously it was. So as soon as I dropped out, I got an administrative job at a telecommunications company. Within a year, you know, I'd done really well, and we were able to. I was trusted to become one of the senior leadership team at a really young age of a new startup, and then another year later, I had my own startup.
Wow.
But in that time, I say that to say this. In my spirit, it's almost like I couldn't sleep. I wanted to do music. It was almost like a calling. It was I can't tell you unless you experience it. I'm sure anyone who is in music and has some vocation within music knows what I'm talking about. If you're meant to do it, you're meant to do it. And for me, it was so, we were doing really well, made enough money. And I was just like, I found an artist. It's almost like the stars was just aligned. And I was like, I'm going to do this, even though I was sweating for 2 years. I'm going to do this. And then I guess I've learned, you know, I think you young people call it manifestation. I guess I kind of speak to God, and I just said, you know, I want to do music. And next thing you know, an amazing artist comes my way, and I'm like, okay, you're the one I'm going to invest in.
Yeah.
And we're here. And so it was a hip hop label. And the first artist I invested in was an artist called Jahaza, who was an amazing rapper. And we did really good the first steps into the industry. And it was a good learning curve, lots of stuff I learned. But yeah, when you know it, you can't shift it. It's on you. It's in you. You're born for this.
Yeah. So how did you, in terms of getting your first artist to work with, obviously, as you say, you kind of started it up yourself. How did you get the artist to trust you? Were they someone you already knew? Was it a friend of a friend? Like,
No, I saw him perform. I was like, oh my God, he's hard. So let me chat to him. And then I spoke to him. I said, yeah, man, what are you doing? You know, anybody who knows this conversation. I feel like I'm having a conversation. Like, I'm not saying anything riveting right now. You just get to know that person. And I watched him performing again and again. And that's what it is. I guess I was informally acting as A&R. And, you know, if you're an artist, and particularly him as an artist, but if you're looking for an opportunity and someone presents it to you, business versus artistry, you can go, you have a choice to go for it. So he did. So that's what it was. It wasn't anything other than, well, I'm gonna put, I'll invest you. We can make an album together. All right then. You know, and that's what it is. So
I love that.
And it was okay. It did that good album. I love being in the studio. It's a good experience, you know. Mapping out a strategy, a comms plan, and those are the days of MySpace. So we were the first on social media, utilizing social media for the first time to put out, and we did well. It toured the world. It was wicked, really good time.
It's amazing. So from then to now, and you won the Music Week Women in Music Campaigner of the Year 2024. This is amazing. Congratulations. That was
it's a full circle, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I remember going on that stage and I cried. I was probably the only one. Everybody else was probably like, I just want to eat my lunch and go home. Me, I walked on that stage and it just made sense.
Yeah.
Like, so from that feeling, and listen, it's not an only because big up George, but it's only an award. But when you're coming, there's been a lot of years between me studying music and wanting to do it and knowing it was a calling. The whole journey I've been on to actually standing in front of the industry of which I didn't see me being a part of. There was no doors. There was no door to the industry for me. Yet I'm standing in front of the entire industry with the giants in the room, collecting an award for something I'm really passionate about. And so I cried because I was just like, yo, I'm actually here.
Yeah.
I did it. And it's not I did it like that, but it like a full circle. And the journey continues. And I say onwards and upwards, and not in a prideful way.
Mm,
If anybody's listening, I'd hope they'd find my story inspiring, because like most people, I'm coming from small, really small,
mm,
humble, and I'm still humble. I'm still striving to be humble, but I'm only going up.
mm,
And I've always asked God to kind of say, you know what, use me to be an example to others, to say they can go up too.
mm.
And I feel
Yeah.
like that's what's happening. You can also come down, and I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware of that. But at the same time, I just hope that it's an inspiring journey, because it's definitely been inspiring for me, and I'm on it.
Yeah, I mean, to have the inner confidence and drive to get yourself to that point when, as you say, at your early stages of your career, it was just closed doors. So yeah, anyone will. I would cry if that was me. When you do reflect on where you started and people didn't want to give you that chance, so you made that chance for yourself. Like, it is inspiring. So yeah, I just wanted to congratulate you on that, because when that came up for me, I was like, oh my gosh, of course, of course, of course. So yeah, congratulations. In terms of the sort of running Black Lives in Music, we're gonna get into it, how you came to found it and everything. But what does your kind of day to day look like as a CEO?
The CEO will agree. A lot of firefighting. A lot of firefighting. You know what? I'm a mother of two children and a
Mm,
wife as well, and so my day really is already full before it even begins.
mm,
But as a CEO, I've already been working for 2-3 hours by the time I've dropped the kids to school.
mm-hmm,
Um, but what does it look like? It looks like liaising with a lot of stakeholders, a lot of people in the industry that want to make a difference. And that means the world. It's almost like sometimes doing the work of advocacy that Roger and I are in, sometimes you can feel alone. But in
mm,
actual fact, those calls, those ideas, those campaigns that we are a part of, that we're lucky to be a part of, really are birthed from us as an IP, but the ideas of others who may want us to carry them out,
mm,
or may want us to be a voice for them, or may have seen an issue and they're like, you know what, join us. So as we've grown and become more influential every day, it's this, even this moment is a really nice moment to reflect on what we've done this year so far and the partnerships we've made.
yeah,
People want to get on board with change in the music industry, and that's what we're trying to do. So whether
mm,
it's campaigning for Black women in dance music, or whether it's providing opportunities for Black women and gender expansive sound engineers, having them work at Glastonbury, having them work at the Barbican or the Royal Albert Hall, or working with the Royal Albert Hall in terms of looking at the diversity of their programming and stuff like that, or looking at the over policing and the cancellation of events for Black,
mm,
Asian, and artists, promoters, and venue owners. All of these things that we're doing, and this is just a snippet, let
yeah,
alone Black classical music festivals that we're
mm,
doing in October, and recruiting classical, and our mentoring schemes, and a ton of other stuff that I can mention on here. We'd be here all day. It's just an amazing opportunity just to lock in with allies and make a difference in the industry, for the industry now and for others coming through in the future.
yeah, yeah. Well, what a rewarding role. In terms of the founding of it, I mean, it's relatively recent. It was only founded in 2020. What? How did you come to the decision to set this up? Like, what was the catalyst that created this whole thing?
I think it's lived experience, and I know it just, we say it quite flippantly, but, after the murder of George Floyd, and you've got the reckoning of the music industry with Blackout Tuesday and stuff,
Mm,
you know, I have to say those things I don't subscribe to. Nothing wrong with it. Everybody else can. I'm not judging. I'm just saying I feel away because, um, you know, Black people get murdered by the police literally every day. Even in this country, it happens.
Mm.
And, you know, at that moment of time, that's when everyone decided to wake up. And it's like we've been going through the struggles in music for hundreds of years. So we really do, you know, I don't subscribe to a moment, but I'm really grateful for that moment, because that is the moment the industry did open their ears and begin to listen, and listen to the individuals and their issues, and want to do something about that. So I'm really grateful for that. And that's how Black Lives in Music was kind of birthed. You know, Roger and I, Roger being a Black man who's classically trained musician, you know, played for the top people you can ever imagine: Quincy Jones, Shirley Bassey, anybody you can think of that is of that type of music, jazz and classical, the West End, everything, and the pitfalls that he had to go through as a Black man, a Black musician, and the journey he had to take as a classically trained musician in the music industry was horrible. He also works in education and even management, so he has experience of navigating the industry. And then there's myself, which I've already given you my background. You know, I've given you the good side of it, but there was a lot of bad sides, misogyny, and like I said, lack of opportunities from out the gate. Even though I did my own thing, still hitting glass ceilings and having to maneuver and stuff, and really fight for opportunity, for success. And that story mirrors a lot of stories there are out there as well. So I'd all like to say, Roger and I came together and really thought out what could the music industry look like if we made a difference. And we created a business case, and that was Black Lives in Music. But before we created the business case, I was like, we need to find some data. We need to see the issues are, where the issues are, find some data. And the first thing was there was no data on anything to do towards Black people in the industry.
Wow.
Even in education, there was a small little bit under the umbrella of BAME, so it doesn't really tell the real narrative of what the lived experience of Black music students are. It's like people, basically. So we was like, well, that's what we got to do. Create the first data set, and we did that. Published a report in 2021 called "Being Black in the UK Music Industry," and where it highlighted racism, pay disparity, mental health issues, and so many other issues that we had in the music industry that Black people were facing, and the industry took it seriously. And we were able to navigate and work with organisations utilising the data from the research and other research that we've done since to make a difference. And now we have over 110 industry organisational partners, so massive partners such as the Warners of the world, and or WME or Apple, and all the way to the smallest festival somewhere up north. We work with over 40 orchestras, and our footprint is not just in the nation of this country, England, or nations of this country, but we're in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. We're in Poland, Sweden, and we're in the States. Small little footprints outside internationally. So we work really hard to make a difference, and we definitely feel like we've got something special, and we're happy with the partners that we have that help us make that change.
It's amazing how it's feeding out exponentially over such a short and relatively short amount of time. And you touched on the REML survey. So you recently sat down with Chancellor Rachel Reeves, Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, and Mayor of London Sadiq Khan to discuss boosting the leisure and hospitality industries. And you particularly were talking about the REML survey, REML standing for Race Equality in Music Events Licensing, and the discriminatory licensing practices which Black, Asian and ethnically diverse artists, venues and promoters are still being subjected to. Could you bring us in on how the conversation went down with these esteemed colleagues?
How the conversation went down. I mean, I got the invite about 2 days before. I was like, I better get my dress out. Oh, gosh. And is this actually happening? And it really, you know, when you're doing data and research, your head is down and you're always looking. Sometimes you kind of understand the recommendations, which is the case for us. We really understood what differences needed to happen within licensing and the licensing process. You know, we've got over policing, we've got licensing officers who are just ruining people's lives and not allowing Black people or Black Asian people to put on events, or if they put on an event or own a venue, shutting down the venues, or LGBTQI events as well, just intimidating, just really being awful to people of colour and marginalised people. And it's just the red tape that there is in licensing and obtaining a licensing and reviewing licenses and the money that's lost. And so we kind of knew what we need to do to make a difference. And I think even though our survey's live and even though we're still capturing data, that opportunity to be able to tell the most powerful people in the country that this is happening to people who are just trying to earn a living was an amazing opportunity. And I grabbed it with both hands. One of the things that always comes up is safety. You know, we have a narrative, you can see it doesn't matter about music. Well, music helps perpetuate that, but a narrative on, you know, certain people groups, i.e. Black people being violent or our music being violent, when, you know, we're full well, anybody listening knows we do all types of music. We're not just limited to one genre. However, that safety narrative, the fact that Black people, Black Asian people are unsafe, or goes across all genres when it comes to licensing. So if you've got a jazz event or a jazz bar or a Bollywood event or any gospel, we even got gospel come up, you know, events getting shut down by the police. So being able to share that with the chancellor and saying, actually, the events that you're shutting down is costing the economy X, Y, and Z. Or the tour that you just shut down for this artist could have potentially raised 800 grand to £1 million.
Yeah.
And our ability to contribute to the economy as artists, as entrepreneurs, is being stifled by licensing. They heard it. So now it's for us to provide the proof, and that's why we've got the Remel survey, and we need everybody to take it so we can provide that proof and you know, hold them to account.
So you got the invite 2 days before. Are they just not very organised?
You'll be surprised, and I don't want to say that. I think, you know, at the end of the day, you know, these things do pop up last minute. You know, if there's an area of growth for the industry, let's go now. So the event was to announce our sprint, which is now completed, but a licensing sprint. So a task force that were given 6 weeks to come up with recommendations for change in the licensing process, and I was a part of that. So it was wonderful to be a part of that. I've put forward recommendations. The recommendations have gone up to ministers. So I have to say, you know, utilising, you know, our research that we've done already and being able to present recommendations based on that research was thrilling, because it was evidence-based. It was the voices of our people going to government, going for recommendations for change. And if it crosses over the line, we've achieved something, which is licensing processes will be significantly different. And if that does happen, it wasn't Charisse that done it, it was the research, the voices of the people. And for that, I am grateful. So we're going right to the top. So we need to come with us.
Definitely. And how do you, when these things do get handed over to the ministers, how do you chase or, you know, keep tabs or hold accountable? Like, there's not one answer?
Okay, we ain't there yet. This is my first rodeo, you know, so we've got good people that we work with, and this is what I'm saying when we're talking about allyship. So we've got all good people. We're working. Remel is not just a survey, it's a task force, it's a group of people that are in the GLA, Musicians Union, Live, UK Music, various other stakeholders who are part of this, locking in to make a difference. So yeah, Black Lives in Music are driving it, but we're part of a team who will hold them to account.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll watch this space. I'm excited to see what comes of it.
Yeah. And if you're hearing this in any good time and the survey hasn't closed, go to blim.org.uk/change. blim.org.uk/change.
Amazing. We'll shout that out at the end as well, for sure. So, talking about another report, the Misogyny in Music Inquiry report, it was published earlier this year, found that women pursuing careers in music face endemic discrimination and misogyny, which is exacerbated by gendered power imbalances and self-employment structures. So far, the government has resisted implementing key recommendations like extending the time limit for Equality Act claims to 6 months. Why do you think this is? Why do you think they're resisting recommendations?
That was the previous government, to be
Yeah.
fair. To be fair.
Okay.
So we've got a new
Okay.
government. So we're talking about Conservatives, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So we are asking the government now, the new government now, to enact the recommendations from that fantastic report. That report is a really good report, done by the government with our input and various other campaigners and advocates for women who are being who have had some form of assault or bullying and harassment. It's a really good report by the Women and Equality Select Committee. And I encourage everybody, if they can, to go on the site and read it. But we are asking the now new government to look at a report again, and they are. So get emails from them just clarifying the evidence that I and other people other campaigners who were part of the inquiry, and I believe they'll look into it, and it's just fingers crossed, It's it's a problem, I think about my journey in the industry, and my journey was unorthodox, and even still I experienced it. And in our reports, others have, to the tune of 900 to 1,000 women, in our reporting. That's just our reporting, and we're not the only people doing reports on this stuff. When it comes to bullying, harassment, or sexual harassment in the music industry, there are loads of reports. So if you add it all together, we're talking about thousands of women or thousands of stories, and we're at a point where we need to see a change. So that's why allyship is really great. We've got organisations such as Live, which is the umbrella body for the live music industry, led by John Collins and Gabby Cartwright, who, regardless of what the government are doing, are saying that report was good. We're going to take on the recommendations ourselves and make some changes in the live music industry. And they're very influential. And that's what we need people to do. We just do what is right. And if you need some guidance, you've got organisations such as ourselves, Black Lives Music, Nadia Khan, in terms of women in control, F-List. There's loads of organisations out there.
I have a question that's more of out of my curiosity. Obviously, you're speaking to governments, and you've worked or spoken to the Conservatives and now Labour. Is there a stark contrast in working with one government to the other?
Oh, I'm not that close, but I would say there is a stark contrast. Put it this way, I was given evidence and we got a report enacted. And it's not about me, just but I'm an individual, we're an organisation, we're a small organisation, small charity, giving evidence to somewhere.
Yeah.
And then we switch governments. Next thing you know, I'm right next to the Deputy Prime Minister and the Chancellor. Kind of says it all, really. You're fighting for change for one, and getting no's, and then you switch governments, and then actually, let's hear what you've got to say, smaller organisation. Maybe you can help us change the economy. So, and that's all I was sharing this week at the Mayor's office. Is small organisations such as Black Lives in Music and other organisations, Attitude is Everything, and various different organisations out there that are on the ground doing the work. MMF, FAC, those are the trade bodies, but AIM, but other organisations that are like more charitable, ISM, we're on the ground doing the work. So it's us you need to be listening to.
Yeah.
And taking note, and empowering as well, so we can continue feeding you the information you need as a bit larger organisation to thrive, or in this case, a country. And I don't say that to big up myself. I say that to drive home the point. Like, organisations such as Black Lives in Music and others are crucial, really important.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I love to see all the progress that is being made, but in myself, I have this question of like, it's 2025. Why are there organizations like, why do we still have the need for things like Black Lives in Music, you know, the misogyny in music report? Like, why is this still such an issue? Why do we still have to fight so hard for diversity, equity, and inclusion in music? Like, what's your take? It's a big question.
You want my take? This question comes in various different forms. Just put it this way, there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do, and we need, you know, like anything, you need more hands on deck. It's all like you're cleaning a house and you've got a broom, but you need the washing up done, you need the walls wiped down, you need things that you've only got a broom. That's like us. We've only got a broom. Like, but things need doing. So what do? You call in other people, you get more tools, you get more supplies, you get more hands, and then the work's done. You clean up the house, sparkling. The hypocrisy is that people could do more. They just don't.
Yeah.
They choose not to. And that's what it is. So we've got a dirty house, let's say, call it the music industry, terrible issues here, there, everywhere. You've got small little organisations with the small tools trying to do their best. But guess what? If it's about making money, within a flash, you'll see the music industry or companies in the industry get involved in campaigns or put money down or buy software companies, buy new technology, buy. Everything's done super quick. But when it comes to, just like you said, diversity, inclusion, belonging, caring for people in the music industry, it's just slow work, very slow. And to be honest, 5 years in, we're barking at the top of our lungs, and other organisations doing the same. And when we're here where we are, should be ashamed. But a lot of people will say we've made progress. And I'm grateful for the progress, but I do see some hypocrisy, and I'm just going to keep it all the way 100. Let's just all work together and make a difference in the industry, because we can if we do it together.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever come across a corporation, organization that just doesn't want to change, like, and are very straight up about it and are just sort of, this is how we do it?
Yeah. But you know what? Like, when we first started, there was a certain institution, so that gives it away a little bit, who was like, yeah, okay, nah, we're good, you know. Nah, it's all right. Now they're eating our hands off, like, you know. And what was the shift in? A different person in the organisation came who said, I get it and I want to make a difference. Now we work with said organisation all the time, and this is one of the biggest organisations in the world. And we work all the time, but it took 2-3 years of, we weren't knocking down their door, but every meeting, just looking in our face, getting, you know, Zoom calls and looking in our face and almost like we're talking to the wall. And now, maybe for the last 2 years, we've been working with them strong, and it's a good relationship, and more is developing out of it. So what do I say? Number one, the right person in the right place can make all the difference.
Yeah.
All of it. Number two, keep at it. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to drive forward, and this is what I'm going through right now, so it's quite poignant, but you're trying to drive forward to something that's positive, and you know, you're focused and you're going forward, but the winds that are coming in the other direction, and although your feet are firmly plodded on the ground, sometimes that wind can have hurricanes, and there's cars coming this way and bloody tires and trees and branches, and you're trying to dodge here, there, and everywhere, swaying from left to right, but you're still in the same place because you're focused. But it doesn't mean you're not going to get hit by something.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important just to get to the end, because you will, you will, but it doesn't come without a fight. It doesn't come without getting scathed or scarred or hurt or emotionally burnt out. This work is hard. And I'm telling you, like, when I won my Campaigner of the Year award, I had to big up the other campaigners, because Charisse is not special. My foot in doing, or Rogers doing Black Lives in Music is no different from Suzanne when she's doing Attitude is Everything, or David at FAC, or Gabriella who's at Donne, or Cassie who's at Pippa, and Eve Horn who does We Are the Unheard, and Saskia Menendez who advocates for trans rights. All of these people are facing the same fight. And it's not a glorious night. You might see a couple of awards here and there. Those awards just style out of the fight that's going on. That's the truth. It's nice to have it. It's a nice, that's nice. A little, and then back to the warfare in the morning. It's just like, it doesn't change. And that's why we need the industry to, like, we've got people falling out, burning out, leaving, because the work is as such. And it's sorry to bring it down, but it's the truth. And I guess it needs to be said. You know, we're not doing this for fun. We're not doing this because this is the only career that we could have done with our lives. We're doing it because there's an issue in the industry. We care about it. We're passionate, and we want to see change for people. People exist. People live and breathe in this industry. We're advocating for them, and we need others to do the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a downer at all. It's the passion that pushes you through, but it's also when, the hurdles, the hurricane is also the passion that makes you feel it even harder than, say, if you're in a job and you've got your career and you're just earning some money. So how do you deal with that overwhelm?
How do I deal with it? I have good people around me, I've got my family. Come when I can pick them up from school, come 3:15, the kids, in it. Like, it's lovely. Grass, green, the sun, and you've got kids shining. And that tells you you're in the real world. Sometimes when you're encased in work, and I'm sure this goes across the board for everybody, it's all consuming. This work can be all consuming, but you can't allow it to be. And you have to train. It's an everyday training. It's almost like going to the gym. You're training. Like, it doesn't, in order for that, it's something that you have to work at all the time. And I've got good people. I've got good friends. I'm a bit of a hermit. I wish I got out a bit more. That I will say, I hate going out. I get invited out in the music industry all the time, and I'm like, I hate this. I hate this.
It all starts at like 9 p.m. That's why I'm like, I want to be getting ready for bed. Do you know what I mean?
But that's what I'm trying to say. But those things are quite good at times.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. And also, you've got to differentiate from being a fan as well as doing work in the industry. Now, this is definitely first world problem. This is like, are you actually complaining about going out? But, but going out is important, and just being grounded and having your friends and your family around you, and separating work when you can. This tipples over, and I think this goes for anybody, but this work is very highly stressful, and it can tipple over. You can't allow it. You just can't. Otherwise, you'll defeat not the purpose, but you can lose your purpose. And that purpose that's driven you to make a difference now becomes a burden, a real, like, not a good burden, a burden. And next thing you know, you're burnt out, you're ill, you've got some disease. And unfortunately, in a small, we've only been here 5 years nearly. George Floyd, I've seen a lot. I've seen people tap out so you've got to have a balance. And I don't know if there's a such thing as a balance, but I'd say you've got to be grounded in life. And if you don't, you've got family, friends, support people. And I've got Roger, which is a huge support, and our team which we're developing, and they develop me, and we try and keep it light and happy where we can. But it's important just to divide that from your real life. Remember, you're just a person too. You've got to have a life. There's life. Make sure you take it, but it can be all consuming.
Yeah. Thank you for your honesty on that. It's just something that I really do wonder when the work is so important. Like, I know I would just be going out of my mind. So no, it's like touch grass. Like, go outside,
Mhm.
experience the world, and remember that like we're all just here trying our best. So I'm going to end now with some questions that I ask every guest. Do you have a favorite memory or say a pinch me moment in your career in UK music?
I think if I be honest, if I can get my head out of a cloud, every day is a pinch me moment. Sorry to say that, but it is. I think the sitting with the Chancellor and Deputy Prime Minister talking about raving and stuff. You know, and I like to go raving. This is the Deputy Prime Minister, you know. So, and it wasn't a pinch me moment. It was just like, what is this happening?
Yeah.
And looking at the Chancellor and seeing how important this was to her, and maybe this what she's going through, and speaking to his Sadiq and having to school him about safety and in music and safety in narratives in what we're doing. So that was a pinch me moment because it was something that I asked for.
Mm.
You know, I'm a believer of God, and some people might think it's manifestation, but not a year. I think this time last year, April last, when we changed governments. No, before we changed governments, I remember trying to reach out to the Secretary of State then, wanting them to hear our voice.
Mm.
This is the work we're doing. We're petitioning for people in the music industry from underrepresented backgrounds. We've got important work. We do bullying harassment. We do research. We do all of these things. And there's so many voices you need to hear. Hear us, please, please, please. And then within a year, I'm sitting next to the Deputy Prime Minister and the Chancellor and the Mayor of London, the most important people in the country.
Yeah.
So what do you do with that, guys? Right? Like, if you believe or whatever, believe in yourself and shoot for it, and you never know what might happen. Just be prepared, though. Yeah, be prepared because it can happen in 2 days' notice.
Yeah, yeah. Have the receipts.
I have the receipts.
Has your perspective of the music industry changed from when you started, as in when you first started your career, to now?
Career to now.
Mm.
Career to now. Um, I've got different thoughts. I don't really know how to answer that question.
Mm.
You know, when you're starting a career as a youngun, 17, 18, 19, wanting to get in the industry, you just think it's an amazing, big old world, dreaming to be the next massive music exec.
Mm.
And then when you get into it, you realize it's not all that.
Mm.
And not in a bad way, that it's just a corporate place. There are issues and stuff like that. So my perception in regards to the bigness, the wideness, the stars has changed. But if I was going to say anything in regards to perception, there's just so much. There are so many good people that work in the music industry, and I'm really grateful for them.
Yeah.
Good people. I just love their counsel when they give it. I love their support when I don't have a voice, when they won't listen to the black woman in the room. The white man will jump up and say, actually, Charisse said, you know. I love the goodness of it.
Yeah.
The bad side is that we produce all of these reports and stuff like that. And if I be honest, I don't really think we scratched the surface. I don't think we've not got in trouble yet, which I manifest a lot of things, so I don't want to manifest this, but we ain't gone to war yet.
Mm.
So if we ain't gone to war yet, are we doing something right?
Mm.
Which tells me one of two things. Number one, maybe the industry is more than what we see, and we haven't got there yet. Or what we're doing right now, where there's an incredible amount of work to do, and we just got a broom.
Mm.
We need more hands.
Mm.
So I lean on that for now, without being a conspiracy theorist.
What advice can you give to people who want to get into DEI, specifically in music?
I don't say we're in DEI, or at least I can speak for myself. I'm not here to do DEI, and I'm
Mm,
not like, what you're not here to do. I'm not. I'm just here to, and corny as it sounds, to help people.
mm,
My my sweet spot, I've got is, it just so happens that I love people. I love to help people.
yeah.
I'm not a great. I don't like people. No, I'm joking. But I love people. In other words, I've got this element of social justice. I want people to be helped, and then I love music, and we just marry the two together.
Yeah.
And that's my advice to people: if you find something that you love and go for it.
Mm,
It can't fault you. It's that thing that I said in the beginning of this, which is, music wouldn't leave me. It was a calling. Go for that calling. That's what it is,
mm,
and it will lead you to where you're supposed to be. So
mm,
that's my advice. It's not getting in the DEI space per se. It's doing what you feel like you're called to do or purpose to do. I promise you. All I can say to you is, if I'm not around next year, I was with the deputy prime minister last week. I got to the top of the thing with my thing. In other words, I'm good, you know. So so I say the same thing to you. Don't limit yourself. You don't know what's around the corner. Live out your dream, and I promise you, you'll get there. But it ain't gonna be easy.
The courage to truly go for what you want. It's harder than you think. So last question. What's your favorite song or artist right now? Right now. These
Right
seasons
now,
change, yeah.
I don't listen. I don't listen to new music,
Okay, well,
so
that's
that's the
fine.
issue.
That's fine.
I don't listen. Yes, I don't. Yeah, so I love 90s rap, hip
Mhm.
hop. I love anything from the 90s. That's my age, guys. So I love anything from the 90s. No, I love anything from Kendrick Lamar. I
Mhm.
love, and I'm not trying to sound cool. I love Kendrick Lamar. Anywhere that music transports me, music is a definite soundtrack to my life. It
Yeah.
dictates my mood. It tells me what I want to do. So if I'm moody and there's a song in my heart, I'll put it on and it puts me in the right place. It's almost like it tells me what to do.
Mm.
Whatever, it could be bloody prodigy. I'll put it on. And I'm on. Like, that's
Yeah.
the mood I'm feeling today.
Dr. Charisse Beaumont, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been amazing to chat to you. Where can people find you on socials if you want them to find you?
Oh, I've got an Instagram account now. Doctor underscore C underscore OYE.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, if you even want to check me out. And I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah, you can find me on there. But if you want to learn more about the work we do, which is where I'd rather direct you, please come to our website, which is blim.org.uk, or go to our Instagram page, Black Lives in Music, and you'll find all about us and all of the amazing work that we do.
And could you just remind us again where we can find the Remel survey?
Sure, please, we need your voices in regards to if you've put on an event and it's been cancelled by the police, you've had a venue shut down, any police interactions, any local authority interactions, anything that's stopping you from putting on a music event. We need to hear your voice. So go to blim.org.uk/change. That's BLIM.org.uk/change.
Thank you so much. You can find me at Saskia Coomber on IG and TikTok. You can follow at the B-Side Music Pod, and you can even email us at thebsidemusicpod@gmail.com. Your comments, any guest suggestions, hit us up. Thank you for listening, everyone. Bye.